Hi, everybody. You know, I'm really pleased to be here today. First of all, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about antiquing. Now, it takes a real antique to tell you about antiques, so I qualify 100%. And I have bought antiques, and I am an antique dealer. I sell them as well. And I could give you a whole bunch of tips on how not to do the bad things that some buyers do, and then I could give you tips on how you can get the best bargain in town, because I can tell you the tips that you have to use. But let me tell you a little bit about the experience of the people who come to my antique table, because I do antique shows. And they come in all sorts of sizes, tall, young, old, black, white, it doesn't matter. But they come on with, each one has a different personality. Don't do this. They come up and they'll say, oh, God, that's expensive. Well, you know what? I saw it on eBay. I could probably get that thing for you in, for half the price. You got $100 on it, I'll give you $5. I said, no, I don't think that's really going to work. Well, here it is, and they pull out their iPhone and they're showing me that they can get this item for $5. And I'll say, is that US dollars? And they'll say, yes. And I'll say, well, you can't buy it for $5. I paid $15 to sell it, to buy it, so I can sell it to you. I want to make a little profit. I think when you go to an antique show, you want to get a bargain. I want to make a little bit of money, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. Those are the 3 tips. But the most important thing is, when you go and you're going to start to haggle, and some people don't like to haggle, be a little reasonable. So the person who says to me, $100 item, I give you $5. And I said, and I will give you a kiss bye-bye. I don't want to argue with you with such a big spread. Now, if you come and you want to buy an antique and it's $50 and you want to pay, I'll say to you, what do you want to pay? And you'll say, now be reasonable. What would you say, Jan? You might say, 25. Break it in half. You'd say, wow, if I could buy that for $25, I'd be really happy. And I'm thinking to myself as a dealer, if I can sell it for $35, I'm going to be happy. She made a bargain, I made $10 on the deal, and we're happy. So one of the first things you have to do is recognize that anybody who's selling an antique had to buy it somewhere. I don't take a chair, sit in the garden and say, okay, come on, inventory, fall in my lap. I have to go up there. And if you've ever watched American pickers or Canadian pickers, they drive around and they're in their car and they look so good. They never show you the snakes and the cockroaches as they're going through the garage that no one's been into since about 1903. Those things they don't see, and those are the things I have to do. So be a little fair when you make an offer. Don't say $5 if it's a $50 item, because I'll just say, buy it on eBay, because you can't buy it here. There are some other things as well. People come up to me and there's a dead giveaway. They'll look at an item on the table and they'll go, or they'll go, they make the strangest faces. I should do like a whole video on faces, because you know that they want to buy it, but they're going to let you know that they don't want it. So they'll say, really? And I'll think, okay, honey, you don't want to pay my price, but I'm going to up the price for you. I'm not going to give you a discount. I'm just going to show you. You know what? So we really have a lot of fun when you're doing antique dealing, but I got a whole bunch of other tips as well. I went online just to see what they suggested. And the first thing they suggested, well, wear comfortable shoes and have cash. Well, you'd say the same thing if I was going to go ballroom dancing into the casino later, or if I'm going out with the grandchildren in the afternoon, they'd say, yeah, wear comfortable shoes and bring cash. So that's not the tip that you want to know. You want to know that you can go there, and if you smile a lot, you're going to get a bargain, I'm going to feel good, and we're going to have a lot of fun.